I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm imagining a couple before you, and they've got stuff in their individual junk drawer, the emotional stuff in the junk drawer. But your job is not necessarily to be the attorney, mediator, therapist. So doesn't all this prolong the entire process? I mean, after all, people, we're trying to get through the process of divorce, and all of this junk that you're bringing in, it's only going to prolong the process. Isn't that kind of frustrating for you?
Actually, no, not in the mediation process. In the litigation process, it is frustrating
Mm,
because in the litigation process, they're using it to try and hurt one another. In the mediation process, they're both feeling hurt.
mm,
And so in the case that I was just telling you about, at the end, the one partner said, I just don't think this is ever going to work. Because, this is what broke up their marriage in large part, I think. And I just kept saying, I can see there's a lot of trigger points here. I could see that, you're very emotional about these things. And I think we're going to need to step back. But I do hear from both of you. You are willing to compromise. We've made a lot of headway. I think there's going to be, in my mind, what I'm seeing, with my experience, we're almost there. And I think that we just need to take a break. You guys need to get a little bit more information. You need to think of the big picture and why you're here. And I think the two of you are going to reach the compromise because you're talking about it. Well, that seemed to make them feel better because I acknowledged that both of them were feeling upset. I let them know that really what they were upset about has a lot more to do with what the triggers were within their relationship and their history. And if they focused on what they were talking about in the present, they actually were very close to a compromise. That it was just the emotion. And it's that's very rewarding in the mediation process that I can get people there. Instead of having to be the referee in the middle of a Donnybrook, when I'm sitting as a conciliator, trying to settle custody cases. And when I was a litigator, that's a whole nother adrenaline rush that it's just pain. It's really draining and painful.
mm. Have you ever had to say to a couple, listen, go clean out your emotional junk drawer and then come back to me?
In initial consultations with some mediation clients, not a lot, but with some,
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't think you're here yet. And
Mm-hmm.
and certainly people that come in through litigation, I'm always saying you don't want to come here for this. You don't want to come here and try and settle things. You don't want the court to tell you how to parent your kids. That's a
Yeah.
bad idea. You want to go and figure this out because you two are the most equipped to do this. So I certainly say that all the time, in my court function. But with mediation, I don't I wouldn't start a couple on mediation if I didn't think that they were ready. Like recently, I had a couple that came to me and initially on a discovery call, the wife was telling me how she was feeling about interactions with her husband. And I said, I don't think you two are going to be well suited for mediation. They came back, they had a joint consultation. He seemed to be all for it. And then I heard back from her afterwards and she said, I can't. I thought I might be able
Mm.
to, but I can't. And I said, well, then this isn't the process for you.
Mhm.
You know how you're responding. He's triggering you. Then this is not the process for you.